The sweet spot for me would be 550 wheel, 600 pound-feet of torque. If we can make that, I'll be a happy camper. What's good, everybody? It is Vanglorious. Welcome back to the garage, the Supra and the Z. Hey, all right, so I'm sure you're wondering what's happening with the Supra. Probably haven't seen any videos on it. You're like, what the hell's going on with it? Car drives fine, everything is good. I did do something in May, towards the middle of the June. Initially it was supposed to be a secret and stay a secret until I had this surprise video of me making almost 500 something horsepower on the dyno, and that was going great and everything was good, but one of the modifications that I bought just wasn't a performer, and it was actually the turbo core. So what I ended up buying was the FP Green turbo core. I said I wasn't going to buy it initially, and then I did it anyway because a couple of my buddies in Florida and other places in the US, they ended up buying it. And then when you do that, you kind of have to go ahead and get your motive reflex, and then you also have to do port injection. Low pressure fuel pumps also negligible. It really depends on if you want to push past 550 with ethanol. So I decided to skip the low pressure fuel pump just because I wanted to set a clean 500 and maybe top out at 550. That's where my head was at. So I gotten all those things together. Got a quote from a shop talking about $3,000 to install everything. I said no thank you, and I did it myself. So it did take me a clean month, and it took me a month for a reason, because what they don't tell you is if you're running Accutech, you need Visconti's plug and play motive reflex kit. The one you get from Motive only works for Boot Mod 3 or MHD. If you do not get the correct one, you're gonna be sitting there wondering if you wired it right, because it's not communicating with CAN bus. I dealt with that for 2 to 3 weeks with Motive. I sent them the box back via RMA, and they confirmed everything was fine. So at that point, I just had to charge it to the game, buy Visconti's kit, plug and play, installed it the very next weekend. Finally, all of my mods were working in unison. So at that point, I needed to hit the dyno. That was my second trip to the dyno. My first trip, I think it was like May 17th. I put the car back together because I thought everything was installed correctly, but 95% of it was done correct. The other 5% was a boost leak from the port injection plate to the intake manifold. So I drove 2 hours for nothing. Car wasn't making boost, thought it was the base map. Stupid me didn't do it right. So after I confirmed everything was good and I returned back in June, take a look at the video and take a look at the numbers that I just dropped in here. Yeah, we didn't make any power. We actually lost power. This turbo does nothing. The sad part is that it sounds sick and it feels like, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like it's quicker, but it's not. And the thing is that I'm making a ton of torque now, but that's probably because of port injection. Turbo doesn't do anything. My tuner felt pretty bad for me. I felt bad for myself too. But that's also the week that I got wind of the Z being at the dealership. So I really wasn't super bummed, but you know, life goes on. So anyway, you can't see much of anything here. I'm gonna try my best to see if I can point out things to you. The cold side of the turbo is over this way. I will also clip in another video so you can see both of the turbo cores together, but there's no way you would tell from here that I changed that. Okay, now that we have this inlet portion on, we are going to take the wastegate out. Okay, pretty important. So to get your wastegate out, you'll find that this is gonna get stuck here on this. That is gonna be lodged in the middle of that. So you will have to transfer it over, but this alleviates you from having to move the position of your wastegate. As you can see, the green should line up. It's slightly moved because of how I've been handling it, but the good thing is you just have to get these marks lined up and then you should be good to go. But I did. So the turbo core is in there. Port injections also one of those things where you can't really see it. There's like no good way to see it outside of maybe what's in here. So in the middle there, that's my radium port injection kit with the Injector Dynamics 1050cc injectors. Quick update. So the injectors and the port injection rail is now on the block. Little difficulty at the end there. Gonna have to figure out how I'm going to get this extension on there, but I will do it. Update, so the reflex has been wired up to the DME plugs. Where do I even start with this? It looks like a rat's nest, but it's honestly not that difficult. If you follow directions, this actually is a pretty easy wire up. And the hardware that they give you, like the posi tabs, really good. I would say anyone who was thinking about trying to tackle this job, just wiring the reflex, I'd say go for it. It's pretty good. I'm just in the middle of wiring the rest of this stuff up. Again, trying to keep this video somewhat cohesive so you can see the progression, but yeah, you will see it's very much apart right now, but you know, with some YouTube magic, the engine, everything else will be back intact in no time. And sprinkled around here is wiring. This is the part of the plug and play harness for the Reflex Plus kit. Now, the cool thing is that there's a whole write-up on how to route it. I decided to route it slightly different. I mean, some of it goes in the actual car, some of it doesn't, but the actual box itself looks like that. So it's a pretty straightforward box to put together. Not too bad. I mean, honestly, the car runs and drives fine. It's just not giving me the power I was looking for. And you know, my tuner confirmed, he goes, it's definitely the turbo, because it just runs out of boost. Like, it runs out of boost faster than stock turbo does. So you can only imagine. That had me pretty tight, because I honestly could have saved $1,500. I didn't have to do that. I could have just rocked with stock turbo up to 550 and just turned the boost up with the rest of the mods, and I would have been okay. But I'm making this video because I wanted to be transparent about it, because not a lot of people talk about this, and for a lot of the videos I looked for about, you know, upgrades in this realm, they don't really tell you that. So I'm here to tell you to use Ecutech Reflex Plus with Visconti's plug and play kit, and if you're going for a bigger turbo option or a turbo upgrade, stay away from the FP Green. It does nothing for you. The turbo does nothing. Nada. And you know, unfortunately, I ended up being the guinea pig in this situation, along with I guess 5 or 6 other people. And FP did reach out to me on the forums, and they kind of asked me how the dyno day went. So I blasted them with information, and I said, hey, this thing is ass. But you know, then they were like, well, the FP red stuff, you know, it's supposed to be major gains, this, that, and the third, and it just, they've fallen silent. So either they went with other people, or maybe they just didn't like that I thought the FP Green was trash. So the thing is that it's still in the car, so I'm not really sure what exactly it is I'm gonna do. I could go the pure option, because my tuner's basically like, look, throw a pure 800 in the car, you wanna be at 500, you got all the other mods, easy 500 horsepower. And he's right. If I just do that, then that's it. But there also is the Dynamic Auto Works kit that basically just dropped. You know, people are getting them, and it's supposed to be like the end-all be-all kit. Better than CTS, way better than CTS, because of all the failures. And supposedly it's better than pure. You know, there's nothing wrong with pure turbos, outside of the whole seal thing happening. Some people on their second and third turbos. I just kind of want to avoid any more setbacks, if you will. I just don't want any more issues. And the thing about it is, it's not like I went through a whole bunch. It's just that had I had information prior, I would have taken a different route and I wouldn't have had such a 1 month long debacle with this whole thing. But it was a learning experience, so that's why I'm not too upset about it at all. Honestly, I drive the car and I still enjoy it, and it's been a blast. So I'm debating whether we should go for a ride. Do I want to take that or do I want to take the Z? I've driven this earlier today, so I guess you'll see in the next clip. I wasn't out here acting like this was gonna be like the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, I wasn't expecting the world's difference out of this turbo core upgrade. You know, I wasn't expecting full frame results out of a turbo core, but I was expecting it to do better. And a lot of people shared the same sentiment. They were like, yeah, like I expected better out of this. So, I was just happy to know that I wasn't the only one who felt that way. They were like, yo, that's all it did? I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah, I'd be sad too. I'm like, yeah. But, you know, I drove the car a little bit more, and, you know, I've had run-ins with people on the road, and they still can't catch me. So I'm like, all right, like, it still kills shit. So I'm like, it's cool with me. Yeah, it sounds sick too. But I just can't help but to feel like when I'm really getting on it, I could just feel it just going, nope, I'm running out of boost. Yeah, I've just been kind of chilling on it, and I feel like that's the best course of action, because if I just keep throwing money at this thing, I feel like that's a good way to just not get good results. I feel like it was like a sign for me to kind of slow down, so I'm slowed down on it. I'm just enjoying the car for what it is. It's 20 horsepower slower than my previous setup, so I know it's only temporary because the port is going to stay on for however long it stays on. You know, I don't imagine me taking the port injection off the car. Same thing with the reflex. They're working together. So really the only thing I have to modify is the turbo, you know? I just have to get a different turbo. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I figured I'd make an update video for you guys because I know there hasn't been any Supra content, like I said earlier. So this way you guys kind of know what's happening with it. It's healthy. It still runs nice. It's just 20 horsepower slower and with no good potential for more power with the FP Green. So it's either pure 800 or 850 or that DAW kit. That DAW kit does seem pretty nice, and it does seem like it'll add a lot of extra oomph down below. It looks like it'll get the whole job done. And the pure is not a bad option either. I mean, outside of said issues that some people have been having with seals and stuff like that, or blowing turbos because, you know, oil leaks. Still think it's a good option. It really just depends on which batch of pure turbos you get. That really seems to be the consensus. So haven't heard a lot of people making noise about bad pure turbos lately compared to it was 2 years ago. So let's just hope that that is different. But that's what I got for you guys. I'm gonna sign off here. I'm gonna go back home and relax. Just wanted to make this video for you guys so you had something, and so I can get out and make something, because I have fun doing this. So hopefully you can hear my new mic setup. These clip-on mics, they're pretty good. They're by Rode. After that last video, I'm sorry I put you guys through the audio. I know that exhaust was definitely just drowning out the whole video. So that's what I got for you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay safe, and ooh, we got it. All right, y'all, I'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe. Peace.